And a good morning to you. My name is John Rook, and I live here in Columbus, Indiana. And I am about to start to tell my story about how I am being sued and have been getting sued for going on 2 years. Um, the point of telling this story is I want to prevent people like me from entering into the purchase of real estate without understanding what can happen, right? There could be what they call vexatious litigants in the area who prey off of individuals. They will use things like covenants or restrictions to launch a lawsuit, which is not fun. Take it from me. It's very, very stressful, and I just you will understand by the time I get through telling this story, but that's what it's about. I'm going to launch a clip here in a second. I did yesterday. It just gives you a little bit of a look of some of my property. It's we're just barely out of winter, so there's no leaves on the trees, so it doesn't look like a whole lot. But this is a beautiful area around here, especially when things start filling in. And there is a whole host of pleadings and judgments and so forth. This case has gone round and round. We're in kind of phase 2 now, where the original complaint filed against me is no longer going to work for them, because they have since sold their property, so they're not part of this association any longer, so they can't sue me on the same grounds. But that didn't stop them. No, they've launched a new complaint, and they're calling this one a breach of contract. They're claiming that because my woods looks the way it does, it's caused them irreparable monetary harm. I don't even remember the verbiage, but these people are absolutely nuts. They're evil. They have disrupted this entire neighborhood. They are hated by almost every person in this neighborhood, and they have tried to take actions against many, many people in this neighborhood and other neighborhoods that they have lived in. So you may see my temper start to go up in some of these video segments, because I'm trying not to let it eat me up, but sometimes it just does. At any rate, so this is it. I hope you will watch some of these and get something out of them. I want you to get some value. I want you to stay protected. I want you to do your due diligence when you go into looking at property, and talk to people. All right, and we'll go ahead and launch right into it now. Thanks for watching. I'm standing in front of part of the property that I purchased back in 2021. I was looking for a place in the woods with not a whole lot of upkeep, and this was for sale and the price was right. So we ended up purchasing this property. Little did I know the kind of turmoil that was going to be upon me shortly after that purchase. You would think there would be nothing to worry about. When you buy a new house, you move in, you move your furniture in, you get your utilities connected, and you enjoy what was supposed to be a beautiful piece of property. There are squirrels, rabbits, birds, ducks, geese. I'm in between two lakes. To my left here is a smaller lake, and our house sits right on that lake. And to my right, directly across the street, is Tamarix Lake, which is probably about a 10-acre lake or bigger. And I was very much looking forward to enjoying my retirement here. I ended up retiring shortly after I moved here. And then one day when I opened the mailbox, there was a letter from an attorney telling me that I was not in compliance with the weed provision that was in the covenants for this piece of property. And I have lawn in this property on both sides of my drive and in the rear of the house, and I cut the lawn, every week to whenever it needs it, and I keep the trimming up. I trim trees, but this piece of my property was part of what I really loved about this place, and it is kind of a natural woodland, right? You've got some bushes and trees and saplings, and I think the animals appreciate that. But apparently, one of the homeowners in this neighborhood has a whole different interpretation of what this should look like. And mind you, I'm a pretty common example of what little pieces of forest in this neighborhood look like. So that was just the tip of the iceberg, and I am going to record what has happened in a long line over 2 years of this legal debate, which I am now up to having spent more than $15,000 in legal fees to try and not only defend myself, but now it's a matter of trying to not get stuck paying his attorney fees, which they're trying to do to me. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that this can help benefit someone else and can also prevent you from purchasing a home in an area where you have a vexatious litigant who is just out to try to make a dime off of you. It can happen to anyone. So I just want to give you a look around here in the neighborhood, just to show you some different perspectives. That's more on the from the street side, looking at my woods, and now we're heading east. That is actually the house of the guy that was suing me, although he no longer lives there. We are so glad of that. Really nice couple is ready to move in there now. But it's beautiful. I'm about to take a walk back to the left here. My friend Mike lives in this house, another neighbor, and he lives on Tamarix Lake. I'll give you a shot of that here in a second as I walk back. But there's a clip coming up I wanted to prepare you for, and this is a run-in I had with the neighbor guy when he was still living there, who is suing me. And I thought I had my phone on record the entire time that I had this confrontation, but for whatever reason I must have hit a button and I only captured the first couple of minutes of the audio with him, which really bums me out, but this will give you an idea on what this guy's like. So here it is. Fun time! I'm coming, bud. No, we're not done. You take my picture? Really? Here, let me give you a good thing. See you in court. So, yeah, that was the guy. And I'm not going to say his name because if he ever sees this video, he would probably launch another attack on me. But I'm not the only one in this neighborhood that he is or has attempted to sue or harass. This has been going on for quite some time before I got here. A couple of the neighbors have moved away. One of the guys that helped me so very much recently passed away within the last 2 weeks. And I was fortunate because he had a history, a chronological history of every threat letter, every lawsuit of each of the other neighbors that this guy had decided to sue or threaten. This guy's habit was every Saturday morning he would get in his van and take a drive down the street and back again going really slow. Sometimes he would shout obscenities to people. A lady that was so very welcoming to us when we moved here, who has since moved, she used to walk her dog daily up and down the street. And this gentleman verbally attacked and assaulted her and called her every name in the book. And it's just a horrible way to be. I don't know what possesses someone. Another individual In fact, it's the guy whose house I was walking next to when I walked back and showed you the lake. He was sued over a property line dispute, which was basically nothing. The suit resolved nothing. And because he kept that suit going so long with my neighbor friend, he wanted out of it. He was just done with it. His wife had cancer and ultimately passed away. So he went out of the suit, and his attorney told him the best thing that you can do, honestly, is to settle with this guy. So that's exactly what Mike did. He ended up settling, and it cost him all total like $20,000, this thing, for absolutely nothing. Nothing changed. It's just so very sad.